132 teams have made the trip here to LakePoint Sports with a Prep Baseball Classic title on their minds. The competition couldn't be much fiercer with a state and nationally ranked players and Division I commits dotting the path to that title. I'm Cory McCartney, welcoming you into LakePoint Sports Baseball Village. We'll be bringing you a matchup today from the 16U division between Nelson Baseball School and BC Atheltics Middle Tennessee. I'll be joined along the way by Avery and Grayson Rosen. Expected first pitch on this one about 10:30 a.m. today. Now, we just wrapped up the National Program Invitational. If you missed any of the action, we had you covered with 3 days worth of watch parties, the championship game for the 17U division. You can find all those broadcast replays on Facebook, X, and YouTube. And the parade of high-level talent in that one was undeniable. It included Florida commit Brady Harris from NBA scout team, locked in for his second straight Prep Baseball All-American game. I caught up with Harris for this edition of In the Spotlight. In the Spotlight with Brady Harris out of Trinity Christian Academy, the top-ranked outfitter in the nation in 2026 and a Florida commit. Brady, man, good to see you again.
Good to see you. Yes, sir.
I don't hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is the last travel season for you. Has it come into focus yet? Are you kind of savoring everything a little bit more?
Yeah, I'd say I'm savoring a little bit more. I'm trying to enjoy my last moments with some of these guys because, you know, it might be your last time playing with a lot of them. So it's kind of a sad reality, but it's time for the real baseball now.
I look at the profile on you, and the metrics are just insane. It's a 103 plus exit velo. It's, you know, a 6.5 60 topping out at more than 27 miles an hour. Outfield velo of 90 plus. I thought maybe there'd be like a Home Depot or Lowe's logo on you. The toolbox is just so loaded. What do you feel like is the best part of the game right now?
Yeah, I'd say it's always been like my hit tool. I mean, I take pride in my hitting, but there's a lot of also things that I feel like get overlooked sometimes. Like I feel like since my hit tool is up there, I like to take pride in my defense as well and my speed. Like you said, I'm always trying to work on my speed and improve on that. But just like you said, I'm trying to stay as well-rounded as possible. And that's my goal always when I'm playing.
Had you down in Miami last September for the Prep Baseball All-American game. What's the biggest change in you as a player since then? Is there something specific that you can say, okay, I've gotten a lot better in this division, part of the game?
Yeah, I'd say my mobility. I've been working on like staying more mobile and like stretching, staying more loose, taking care of my body a little bit more. So I'd say overall just like my body and the way that it's been treated since then.
I'm glad you took me there because I think guys always want to look at the players of your magnitude and try to say, what did they do that I don't do? So what are those things in terms of like the pregame preparation, the mental focus? You mentioned a lot of the mobility stuff. What are you specifically doing right now?
Yeah, I'd say before I wasn't really focused on like my warm-ups and what I do before the game. I was kind of just like I go out there and just play. And I realized like as you get older, it's not really good for your body. Your body can't really take that as well anymore. So I focused on stretching, foam rollering, and my massage gun, just things that are like activate my like core muscles and my muscles that I'm going to use out there instead of just going out there and playing like cold on them. I've taken my warm up completely serious, and then on the days, my off days, I'm making sure I'm doing any of my recovering I can do. I'm staying extremely hydrated, just anything to take care of my body, like the cliche things that work. Like I know it's cliche, like when you grow up, your parents are always telling you to hydrate and stuff, and you never want to do it, but now that I've gotten older, I kind of realize that stuff is really important. So I've been taking care of my body a lot more, and I look forward to doing that more. Also, something that has changed a lot more since Miami is my arm strength. I didn't take my arm strength as serious back then, and I also have amped that up a little bit too, and I've been on a specific arm program to gain velocity and gain strength.
You did a great video last year with Mike Trout. You got to ask him a question on video about how he handles pressure. What did you take from his response into how you handle things every day?
Yeah, I think learning from a guy like that obviously is, I mean, you can't beat it. It's top notch. So just the way that he told me that there's really no pressure, it's all you, like you're in control. Like why would you let the outside noise take control of you? So I think that's really cool, just knowing that like you're in control of your own situation and nothing that's on the outside can affect you on the internal. So I thought that was really cool learning from a guy like Mike and all the other big leaguers that are able to do that day to day. So I think it's really impressive how they just do that, and if I'm able to learn any knowledge from those guys, it's amazing.
Yeah, no better research and resource than a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Brady, man, thank you so much.
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it. Best of luck.
It.
If you're not already, make sure you follow LakePoint Sports on all our social media channels. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. You get so much more happening here on campus. LakePoint Sports has partnered with IHG Hotels and Resorts so athletes and families can stay where they play and enjoy exclusive savings. With over 6,000 IHG locations made for teams, families, and fans, you get comfy rooms, breakfast, and more. Score big savings at ihg.com/youthsports. Great stuff, by the way, in that interview with Brady Harris. Cannot wait to see him get his name called next summer in the MLB draft. Of course, he's going to have a date at the Prep Baseball All-American game in September. A return there. I'll be excited to see him back in action at Lone Depot Park. Now, this is an exciting tournament across the baseball village, and we turn our Barnsley Resort player spotlight in the direction of Ethan Foster playing for Tennessee Nationals, the top-ranked second baseman in Virginia in 2028 out of Wise Central High School. He's pushing exit velos past 90 miles an hour. A 2024 junior feature gamer. Foster is a challenger to be back there this summer. He and the Tennessee Nationals are currently in action on Field 15, taking on USA Prime Atlanta. We'll have a graphic shared across our social channels and show you some more on Ethan as this game rolls along. Now, you've seen specialty items across MLB ballparks across the country, each one trying to outdo one another. We have laid down the gauntlet here at LakePoint Sports. I offer you this introduction. Say hello to the walk-off.
Today we're unveiling a limited time F&B item here at LakePoint Sports. It is a new signature burger called the Walk-Off. So it's not just a normal burger here. It's got 3 cheeseburger patties as well as a handful of shaved steak. That'll be joined with some bacon as well as 4 onion rings on top with a drizzle of hot honey as well as some barbecue sauce, and that is all on a toasted Hawaiian bun. I think our first question, naturally, is how are we going to approach this burger? It is standing rather tall. We didn't get a real measurement, but I think we're looking at about 7 inches.
Yeah.
It's an unbelievably tall burger. I think it's almost, it shouldn't be, you can't get a fork and knife for this.
No.
You got to go all in. Maybe you could hit layers. Maybe you take the top bun off, you knock out the onion rings, a little bit of the bacon, and then you go for it from there. But I think both of us have to just put in the valiant effort to.
You just got to go the extra mile.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's dig in.
I got a neck cramp in the middle of that bite.
Oh, man. Off the bat, it tastes outstanding.
It does taste good.
It is a really good
As hard
burger.
as it is to eat, it tastes pretty good.
The 3 patties, you might call it excessive. You might call 4 onion rings excessive. I don't know. I think it works well together somehow. It's a daunting challenge, but like the onion rings are perfect. They're outstanding. The burgers are great. Cheese is very well melted.
Yeah, I'm going for another one.
And that's a serious bite right there. All right, well, everybody, all summer long, come and get the walk-off here at LakePoint Sports at either of our food and beverage stands.
I have not tried the walk-off burger, but as you can hear from Mason and Grayson, it is delectable, and you will not eat for an entire week. Now, I mentioned our Barnsley Resort player spotlight, and that's on Ethan Foster playing for Tennessee Nationals. There he is, the top-ranked second baseman in Virginia out of Wise Central High School. Thought the really great take here was from the Prep Baseball Scouts talking about the swing breakdown, a guy who would develop more barrel control to produce higher drives at a higher clip. He was, again, a 2024 junior feature gamer and most certainly a threat to be back here in one of Prep Baseball's crown jewel events at the end of the summer. Let's go ahead and take a look at our Windscreen Factory starting lineups for this one. Nelson Baseball School will be led off by Kaj Walker-Smith, who's playing center field. Playing second base is Elijah Assad. Hitting third and playing first is Aiden Morgan. Hitting fourth behind the plate is Vaden McCarty. Hitting fifth is DH Matt Garcia. Then it's the extra hitter Nolan Crutchley. Then Cash Dunn, the shortstop. Cam Spicer hitting eighth and playing right field. Hitting ninth and playing left is Carson Chow. Hitting 10th and playing third is Mason Myers. Hitting 11th is Aaron Irby. And on the mound will be the left-hander Garrett Bentley. For BC Athletics Middle Tennessee, they'll be led off by the third baseman Brennan Skurlock. Then it's the DH Jake Schumacher. Pitcher Brody Johnson, the righty, hitting third. Hitting fourth is Brady Rowe, the right fielder. Hitting fifth is Keller Hatfield, the second baseman. Hitting sixth and behind the plate is Jace McKinney. Hitting seventh is Braden Maltsby, the center fielder. Hitting eighth is Andy Hudson, the left fielder. Hitting ninth, Lucas Blakeney, the first baseman. Hitting 10th, Caden Edge, the extra hitter. And hitting 11th is shortstop Nate McDowell. So we're going to take a quick break here in studio. We will rejoin you once our action gets underway. You're watching the Prep Baseball Classic from LakePoint Sports.
1.
We are underway here, Prep Baseball Classic. Cory McCartney now joined by Avery Hunt here in studio. We're going to see Kaj Walker-Smith lead things off for Nelson Baseball School. McEachern 2027, 14th Prep Baseball event for him. He's facing off against Brody Johnson, first pitch down the left side foul. I had to ask Kaj how to pronounce his name, which I'm sure he gets on the daily. KCJA, Kaj, so the C is silent. He's hoping he's not silent, by the way, as he's up to the play here against Brody Johnson out of Watertown High School in Tennessee. Fastball up around 81, curveball 69 to 73, changeup 71 to 75. Oh, I like that. I like that little point out. That's a Jim Thome-esque swing and a miss.
I was trying to figure it out, and you beat me to it.
There you go. So Jim Thome's son was here last year playing for Illinois during the feature games. He doesn't do that.
Yeah, I figured that. I mean, that's a generic, that's a calling card for Thome.
You think so? Yeah. I always found it a little like territorial or a little, I don't know, threatening.
You have to make it your own way, I guess. If you're, I never could do anything like that. I never had like a specific routine.
It's a little. Ichiro did that too.
Yep. He would like pull on the shirt.
Yep. That's right down the middle for a strike, and Brody Johnson gets the punch out. But yeah, Ichiro would definitely do that. Yeah, and he would tug on the shirt when he would do it.
This number.
Yep. So in spring training, went down to cover the Braves in that would have been 2015. We went down and
the fun Braves.
Yeah. So they were playing the Yankees down at right across from the Trop down there in Tampa. And that was when they had Ichiro for that 1 or 2 years. And we saw him walking through the concourse, and he had on like French rolled jeans in the middle of the summertime.
That makes sense.
Like a little tiny backpack on, and very slender built man, but the dude could absolutely hit. But yeah, he had the French roll pants.
Some serious bat to ball skills.
He sure did, yeah. You can wear whatever you want when you're Ichiro Suzuki.
When you hit 340 in the big leagues, you can show up in whatever you want to show up in.
That's right. So Walker-Smith goes down on strikes. Elijah Assad, his McEachern teammate, another 2027, now steps in. He was at underclass top prospect games in June. So, oh, man, that was pretty vicious going through that. And that's another strikeout. Brody Johnson is dealing here on a Saturday morning in Emerson, Georgia. Go to Aiden Morgan. Harrison, 2027. Oh, he does it too. Maybe it's like a team thing.
Yeah. Like I was saying, I could never do that because I would start thinking too much about what I'm doing, pre-at-bat, and I'm like, oh, God, I don't know what's going on. Might be a me problem, not being able to focus well enough, but, just same way like a golf swing, like, oh, you need to have a routine. I'm like, I don't have that.
It's right up the middle. Shortstop has it. Throws in time. Extremely quick inning for Brody Johnson and BC Athletics. We'll be back with the bottom of the first. You're watching the Prep Baseball Classic from LakePoint Sports.
Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Welcome back. Cory McCartney, Avery Hunt with you. A really quick first inning there for Brody Johnson in Middle Tennessee, or BC Athletics Middle Tennessee. Not playing Middle Tennessee State, although they have the same colors. Brennan Skurlock is going to lead things off for BC Athletics, to be followed by Jake Schumacher and the aforementioned Brody Johnson. Got Garrett Bentley on the mound for Nelson Baseball School. Intel here on Bentley out of Harrison, 10th prep baseball event for him. 5'10", 165-pound lefty. He's got a fastball around 78. We'll see what we see out of him on his last warm-up pitches. There's the throwdown. Also got a changeup, 68 to 71, and a curveball that sits 62 to 64. He's the only one without blue sleeves.
You know, I'm sure he forgot what jersey they were wearing today, and then him and his parents had a very fun car ride here this morning because he got the wrong jersey.
Yep.
Had a few of those in my day. I always got the jersey right. I was just really bad with belts. Just couldn't keep up with a belt, and that would always go well.
The thing when you're playing tournaments though, where sometimes you're on turf and sometimes you're on grass fields, coaching, the thing that I always would notice was kids that would have the wrong cleats.
Yeah,
that's like the most popular thing. I did have one time where a kid forgot his glove, so you know that's an important thing. Second base has it. What an athletic play at second base. Elijah Assad making some noise defensively and one down here in the inning.
A good play with a fast runner getting down the line there from the left side to lead off the game. You know, good backhand, set his feet up the middle and made a strong throw to first to help his pitcher out to get started.
Jake Schumacher steps in. Stewart's Creek, Tennessee, third prep baseball event for this 5'11", 163-pounder.
Talking about forgetting your glove. My senior year of high school, we got on the bus for an away game, got about 5 minutes from the field, and I realized and informed my head coach that, hey, Coach, I know I'm catching today. I don't have any catcher's gear. Luckily, we were not too far down the road when I made that discovery as we turned around real fast, and you know that was a fun.
Did you think somebody else had it?
No, I just
slipped your mind.
You can ask my wife. I'm a very forgetful human being. You know, in the past month, I've lost my license. Got a new one. We're good. We're back. But yeah, I tend to forget things.
Swings through that one. Garrett Bentley's got himself a strikeout as well. He's having an efficient inning, just like his counterpart Brody Johnson did for BC Athletics. Third batter here will be Brady Rowe. Now it looks like Johnson's not going to hit for himself. He was initially in the lineup, looked like they were going to have him hit, but Brody Johnson is not hitting, so this will be Brady Rowe. Rowe out of MTCS, Tennessee. Third prep baseball event for him. Swings through that one. The count now is 1-2. Bentley's working quick.
Just towing it and letting it ride.
He's got reservations at Texas Roadhouse for lunch. Misses inside.
I'll throw a little plug in here. Have you had lunch at the Element Hotel yet?
I have seen people eating there, but I've not eaten there. But I hear it's pretty
excellent.
Good. Okay. There you have it. Get the plug for Element in. And let's go through what'd you get?
I went with the BLT.
Okay.
And, you know, just the generic fries on the side. And I could have been very hungry, but it was very, very good. Got to sit out on the balcony, watch a few games.
You can see that up there
week.
in the top left corner. You can see the balcony up there. And rumor has it they may be showing some of our games here very shortly up in the bistro. We're going to rejoin you, though, and we'll have plenty more talk when we come back. You're watching the Prep Baseball Classic from LakePoint Sports.
We're here at LakePoint Sports, the site of the first Curve Test Center. There will be lots of Curve Test Centers, but this will always be the first. And why are we here? Here for a couple of reasons. One is if you think about the effort players are spending trying to get coaches to notice them, the effort coaches are spending trying to figure out who's actually any good, the poor parents who are sitting there saying, where's my kid headed? This is the answer for all that.
Everyone wants to be seen, right? Sometimes what can be seen is data. So it's hard to get in front of coaches at all these programs at once, or even the school you really want to go to. So using data helps us a ton. And as long as it's reliable and there's something that can give us better information with the small sample size is what we're looking for.
Welcome back, Cory McCartney, Avery Hunt with you. We saw a combined 22 pitches in that first inning, and back to some efficient work here is Brody Johnson, and he threw just 9 during that first inning. Garrett Bentley, his counterpart, threw 13. So the deductions of math there, 22. Yeah. I can do the small numbers.
Yeah, we're getting our math in early this Saturday.
Vaden McCarty's going down on strikes. Brody Johnson is dealing on this Saturday morning.
It's like we dropped the ball on the throw around there, so we'll just reset it, get it back to the pitcher, and let's keep this thing rolling.
So that was the catcher, Vaden McCarty, led things off. Now here's Matt Garcia, the DH, and he'll be followed by Nolan Crutchery, the extra hitter. Garcia, North Cobb, 2027.
Another first pitch strike. Will get me over breaking ball.
These pitchers are attacking the zone early in this one. Swings to the off speed, count now 0-2. Everybody's got somewhere to be today. Working quick. Comes Johnson with the 0-2. Swing, miss, another strikeout. Brody Johnson on his game.
Everybody taking advantage of the perfect summer morning here. Nice, sunny, and 75.
This is Nolan Crutchery. He puts that one in play. Is that going to drop down? We have our first hit of the game as that drops in front of the right fielder.
We were on pace through 2 hitters for the immaculate inning, but that did not happen with the first pitch single there.
The Harrison 2027 is aboard. That'll bring us the incredibly awesome named Cash Dunn out of East Paulding. If I told you he had an album dropping next Friday, would you believe that?
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Good country album.
Yeah, sure. Sure would be. 6-foot, 178-pounder, 18th prep baseball event for him. Plays shortstop, third, also hops on the mound. It's the 1-0 to Dunn. Third base has it, throws in time. They'll get that out, and that'll bring it into the top half of the inning, and we are rolling along extremely quick game so far. You're watching the Prep Baseball Classic. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
On to the second inning, BC Athletics will send Keller Hatfield, Jace McKinney, and Braden Maltzby to the plate. Brody Johnson, 4 strikeouts already on the mound for BC Athletics. He threw 9 pitches in the first inning, 9 pitches in the second inning, and now the gauntlet's thrown down for his counterpart, Garrett Bentley, who threw 13 pitches of his own in the first, and he starts off Hatfield there with ball 1. Make it 2-0 as he misses outside. So big news, Avery, in the GHSA world this week with this transfer rule, this crackdown. They're going to require schools of athletes that want to transfer to do the following. They have to make copies of driver's license, lease agreements, utility bills, all that to show that they're moving. If a student moves twice during their scholastic time in GHSA, they have to set out an entire year. This is like, we've kind of seen guys bouncing around as we get a leadoff walk here. So again, any student that transfers twice after the 9th grade year will be ineligible for 1 year. These are all pending the approval next month by the GHSA, but it felt like something was coming. Did not expect this degree of a crackdown.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we talked about it in between innings. I mean, GHSA is putting more of a foot down than the NCAA is. I mean, these days in the NCAA, you can transfer 55 times if you'd want. But yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be interesting to see how that plays out. You talked about it too, like specifically like private schools.
Yeah, what do they do?
Because like they don't have a designated school area where you would go to school at. So I'm assuming there needs to be some language in that new rule with that stuff. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how that plays out, especially like city schools that can get guys from all over the county and stuff like that. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how they police it, and what works for one guy might not work for another guy, and then that'll get everybody all riled up. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how that works out moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, obviously what they're trying to do is to make sure these are bona fide moves to another school in another district. But you're right. I mean, there's a number of schools within the same counties, within the same cities that are going to be difficult to police. And obviously there's going to be hardships along the way that people are going to have, life-altering maneuvers that are going to force them to change schools. And then there's the entire GIAA, as you had mentioned. It's going to be really tough on some of these kids, but I think the bottom line is if you're going to have a change of heart and feel like you want to change schools in Georgia, you better mean it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you better make sure that where you're going is where you're going to be if you get that first one in. Because obviously it's a 4-year thing and you have to sit out a year, there's no red shirts in high school. So obviously, you're losing an entire year. What does that look like? Do they go play an academy? Stuff like that. And
yeah, it could be big for gap years. Could be big for a number of because it's not like anybody wants to skip around. No one wants to be a super duper senior in high school.
That starts throwing wrenches in the situation when you're trying to play collegiately or in baseball get drafted and you're 19 when you get drafted. It's like, what are we doing here?
So back-to-back walks issued by Bentley. And that's going to give us a look at Braden Maltzby, the center fielder.
Bentley, we were talking about how fast he was working in the first inning. Might be working a little too fast here in the bottom half of the second. He's kind of losing that command a little bit.
Make it 3-0 again. He's walked the first 2 batters of this inning. Now has a 3-0 count here to Maltzby.
He's missed with 11 straight here to start the inning.
Well, when you see your counterpart go out and strike out 4 batters within the first 2 innings, it's certainly you got to feel like you got to go out there and go toe-to-toe with them. He's got to stick with what worked for him during that first inning, and unfortunately, he's now walked the bases loaded. And that's going to turn it over to Andy Hudson, the left fielder.
If anybody tuned in, watched the Braves game yesterday, the Braves did this in the second inning twice, too. So,
and they managed to put it together and score 12 runs.
Yeah. A little late life from the guys. It's always fun when the offense for the Braves does what, we expect them to do.
You just hope they didn't get all their runs for the weekend.
They'll come out and score one today.
Yeah, that's right.
And it'll all make sense. If you're a Braves fan tuned in, you know how, this season has made you want to bang your head against the table. Unfortunately, I am in that boat.
Bentley appears to have found the strike zone now. Andy Hudson at the plate, by the way. Oak Ridge, Tennessee. We gave a lot of love to the Oak Ridge boys. Did you ever go back and listen?
I have not. I still haven't.
All right. Well, there
I'll
you go.
tune in after
another
the
opportunity. Yeah, another reminder. Bentley gets a strike out there at Hudson. So 1 down now. Bases still loaded. Lucas Blackney now steps in.
After that big strikeout, I mean, you throw 12 straight balls to walk the bases loaded, get a strikeout on the next hitter, and now you're a 1 hopper to short away from coming out unscathed here in the bottom half of the second.
Yeah, Blakeney barely had an opportunity to even get set before Bentley was delivering that pitch. So this is a guy that just does not waste any time. Certainly finds himself in a rhythm, and that's in for a strike. Count now 1-1.
It almost seems like he is more comfortable in the windup. Obviously, you've seen him in the stretch struggle with command a little bit, and now he's back in the windup here with the bases loaded and is, back on cruise control here.
He's got a 1-2 count now to Blakeney. Swing, miss, strikeout.
That's only 2. 2. Oh,
He's
well,
had a nail. He thought the rules had changed, and
Yeah.
you only needed to get if the degree of difficulty with the bases loaded, you only have to get 2.
play 3 in this league, so we'll be good.
All right, so Blakeney goes down on strikes. Caden Edge comes in out of Model High School. Miss high. Now he's got to find what he had a few seconds ago and get himself out of that small embarrassment. That one's in play. Third base has it, touches the bag, and man, great job by Garrett Bentley getting out of that jam, leaving the bases loaded. Able to work his way through that. We are still scoreless. Avery Hunt on his way out. Appreciate it as always, man. We'll see you soon. We'll be back with more from LakePoint Sports.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Our action continues, and while neither team has made a pitching change, we have as Grayson Rosen steps in for Avery Hunt. Cam Spicer will lead things off for Nelson Baseball School. This inning will be followed by Carson Chow and Mason Myers. Brody Johnson has been fantastic so far for BC Athletics. Not to be outdone, though. Really impressed with what Garrett Bentley did there after walking the bases loaded and getting himself out of that jam.
Yeah, in the early goings here, it looks like we've got a pretty solid pitching battle. Both pitchers through these 2 innings have 4 strikeouts. So we're going to see what happens here in the third. Starting to get closer to each lineup getting their second look at the starter. So we'll see what both teams' approaches look like as things go on.
Cam Spicer out of Harrison at the plate now. That's in for strike 1.
Got a feeling you'll be talking about Harrison a lot today.
Yeah, there is a number of Harrison players in this Nelson Baseball School squad. Well, fouls it off from the inside pitch. Spicer quickly finds himself in an 0-2 hole. He's playing in his 22nd prep baseball event, by the way.
Wow. Yeah, Nelson Baseball definitely a
fixture.
Yeah, a fixture here.
Aiden Morgan, by the way, the number 3 hitter in this lineup, has 26 on his resume. Goes back inside, misses. Count now 1-2. 9 pitches in the first inning for Johnson, 9 in the second. I like the Toronto Blue Jays-esque numbers in the back of BC Athletics.
Yeah. It's a good touch.
Count now even. Spicer again will be followed by Carson Chow. Comes Johnson with the 2-2. One's in play. Third base has it. Long throw. Speed on the base pass, but he gets him for the first out.
Yeah, good work right there. Third baseman let the ball come to him. Made the sound, safe play there defensively. So that's what you want to see out of a defense, especially in a game like this where every little error could be a huge problem for you.
So that throw gets some speed. And speaking of speed, Carson Chow, who we'll refer to as Ka-Chow, Lightning McQueen. I'm sure he's heard that before. Harrison 2027. 20th event for him. 5'9", 145-pounder. That can't be right. Looks a little bigger than that. First pitch swing at 83.8 off his bat. That one's on its way into the glove of the center fielder. A loud out for Chow. Now 2 down.
Yeah, left that one up just a little high.
But more efficiency for Brody Johnson as he gets him out on 1 pitch. Now here is Mason Myers.
Yeah, Brody Johnson is making sure we can get out of here at a reasonable time,
Yeah,
it seems
like I said, I feel like these guys have reservations somewhere.
Yeah, they've got something to do
maybe
tonight.
Maybe he'll
Much
beat the
more
element
important.
for lunch.
I mean, we've got some good weather. It looks like we're going to hold off from rain hopefully today, so get out to the lake maybe.
Oh, there you go. Sends that one back. Count is now 0-2.
See if he can get his third inning here with a strikeout.
He skies that one. Shortstop camps underneath it. Does he have it? He, in fact, does. Wow. Another quick inning for Brody Johnson. He is just cruising along. We are still scoreless. BC Athletics and Nelson Baseball School will be back with more from the Prep Baseball Classic.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Welcome back. Cory McCartney, Grayson Rosen with you, and we have had a pitching duel, Garrett Bentley against Brody Johnson. This has been a fantastic pitching matchup so far. We'll see if either offense can break through. Just one hit so far, and that came via Nelson Baseball School. This inning, we're going to see for BC Athletics, they're going to send their last hitter in the order, Nate McDowell, the shortstop. Then we're back to the top of the order with Brendan Skurlock and Jake Schumacher.
Bentley's looked really good, and getting out of that bases loaded 2-out situation last time around is certainly going to give him some confidence. He's moving fast right now.
Yeah, he is a guy that we have seen a lot more comfortability from him pitching from the windup. He got himself, he walked the bases loaded the last inning. He did not seem to have that same efficiency and comfort from the stretch. So see now that he's back in the windup, what he can make happen here to start off this inning. He's got a 1-1 count now to McDowell, Siegel High School in Tennessee.
Yeah, I won't say the words here, but I'll say he does have 3 walks. I won't say the other side.
Well, he's got a 2-2 count now to McDowell. That one is skied. See if our camera cuts over to see who has it.
It is fair. It looks like it landed, so I didn't even have to say it.
Well, we can't even see it. That's how far. That's how demoralizing it is. We couldn't even look upon it. No, there's an out.
Oh, okay. So it got caught.
Yeah, it did get caught.
Maybe we didn't get the call from home plate. We got the call from the field. So it was caught. So never mind.
Never mind.
Just disregard what we just said. There's an out now.
That's right. Leadoff hitter Brendan Skurlock at a Wilson Central High School is now up. Second prep baseball event for him.
Yeah, good pitch right there. And I think he doesn't even give the guy time to think about the next pitch.
He really doesn't, and that's the thing. I really noticed that last inning. The guys can barely get set, and he's already ready to roll.
Yeah. He takes a moment here, and then he's going to, as soon as he toes the rubber, he's ready to go.
I want to see somebody call time and see what he does, if he just stands there with a...
It's up to the umpire, really, because with how he's moving, you don't really want to interrupt his movement. Yeah.
3-1 count now to Skurlock. Swing, miss, make it 3-2.
See what he's got here to try and get himself another punch out.
He misses and issues his 4th walk. Four walks, 4 strikeouts for Bentley. And with Skurlock aboard, now get our second look at Jake Schumacher, the DH. Avery Hunt and I talking about the GHSA transfer rules. Thoughts on this? I mean, obviously you're trying to stop guys from freely moving around and having this recruiting aspect. I'm not 100% sure on how private schools are going to fit into this. And certainly if you go GIAA, that's not under the GHSA jurisdiction. Are they going to have similar rules? I think it's going to be a fascinating watch here in the state of Georgia as that one's bunted foul.
Yeah, it's going to... I really don't think it shakes up that much. I don't think it's something where it's like, the state is going to fundamentally change and like anything. I think what it comes down to is that for the most part, when we're talking about public schools, they're just in places that are rich with the baseball talent already. Now, there's obviously, different circumstances with maybe a guy's going to be moving up here and he's going to talk to some coaches and be like, hey, my family's moving up here. What area should I move to?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing probably is happening. But that's not going to change. That part doesn't change at all with these rules. And I think with the private schools, you can't really stop a guy from choosing to leave public school and go to private school.
It's crazy to me that they're going to take the links where Bentley gets himself a strikeout, that if you're moving, you have to show you have utilities set up at the new place. You have to show your utilities were shut off at the old place, so you're not just getting temporary housing during the school year to be at a new location. But there's obviously going to be waivers and hardships. There's going to be situations that pop up, divorces, people moving in with their grandparents, all kinds of little things that we're not thinking of that are going to have to be heard by the GHSA for guys to get waivers on this. But it's certainly a fascinating watch here as we settle in for the 2025-6 school year. Oh my God, what a catch by the second baseman. And man, Elijah Assad had the second time today we've seen some fantastic glove work out of him. An entry into the Aspen Hospitality Group moment that matters without question. Assad showing off the glove work that McCartney 2027 came to play defensively.
That was unbelievable. What a catch.
Big reason why he was at the underclass top prospect games a couple weeks ago here in the month of June. We'll be back with more. The glove is coming to play here. You're watching the Prep Baseball Classic from LakePoint Sports.
Hot summer days call for cool adventures in Cartersville, Museum City. Beat the heat indoors with jaw-dropping exhibits at Tellus Science Museum and the Savoy Automobile Museum. Hit the water at Terminus Wake Park, kayak the Etowah River, or head to Lake Allatoona for fishing, boating, and unbeatable lake days. When the sun sets, head downtown for live music, delicious eats, and local flavors. From family fun to date nights, summer memories start here. Plan your trip today at CartersvilleMuseumCity.com.
Our LakePoint Sports photographers deliver at the highest level, taking you inside the action here across campus. Yes, we've got game day covered, and now you can not only see your game through our lens, but you can purchase photos as well. Just use the QR code on screen for the latest images with galleries uploaded after the completion of tournaments and events. You can also go to LakePointSports.com or any of our social channels for more information. Still sitting here stunned after that defensive work there by Elijah Assad. And McCartney got a gem there in the middle infield for the class of 2027 because that was absolutely fantastic. All right, we're rolling along here onto the fourth inning. This one is scoreless. Combined one hit between these two teams so far. Nelson Baseball School will send Aaron Irby to the mound. They have still not gotten through their lineup, by the way, as we said here in the fourth inning. They are seeing a big test on the mound here against Brady Johnson, who has thrown 9 pitches in each of the first 3 innings.
There's some early contact again. It's going to get easily caught there at short. A very nonchalant catch right there at shortstop.
That's the second time we've seen that from Nate McDowell. He made one almost at his waist to the end of last inning, and now he gets the first out of this inning. So now that will turn it over to the top of the order, and Kaj Walker-Smith. Second time now they'll see Brody Johnson. There's that Ichiro-esque point towards the pitcher.
Love to know the inspiration for the stance.
Yeah, we've seen it from a couple guys. Walker Smith's doing it. Aiden Morgan's doing it. Didn't see if Elijah Assad did it, but we'll see him right after this.
That's a good bunt.
Walker Smith gets that down. The throw, speed on the base pass. Did they get him? He's going to be safe. Close play at first, and Walker Smith will be aboard now with one down.
That's the kind of thing that just is deflating as a starting pitcher as well, especially early in a good start, is to get that. That bunt for a hit is always tough, and the close play at first just makes it even worse for you. So we're going to see how Brady Johnson comes back from this one, just kind of tries to hold himself high.
After the great defensive work, we see Assad now. He had a point down, but his was a lot lower down to the ground. He's first pitch swinging, and that one is into left field for a base hit. Walker Smith taking off for third.
Wow.
The throw is going to be wide, and Walker Smith is now at third with Assad sitting at first.
I mean, that is all set up by the hit and run right there by Walker Smith getting down there to second base. That shortstop, you saw him get pulled to second base as that ball went through right where he was normally playing in his natural position, and that opened everything up. And shout out to College Walker Smith for getting to third base, too. Just turned on the Jets.
Second time through the order, they are seeing Brody Johnson a lot clearer, and now Aiden Morgan steps in with runners at the corners and one down, the 6-foot, 190-pounder from Harrison.
This is certainly a spot where things could get dangerous, so I like the idea to come out and talk things over.
Yeah, Johnson has rarely been challenged thus far. Again, he had 4 strikeouts through the first 3 innings.
You'd really like to keep that runner on first base, but you can't really afford to throw down when you've already seen the kind of speed that College Walker Smith's got over there at third base.
Again, Johnson just 9 pitches in each of the first 3 innings, but he is being tested by Nelson Baseball School here in the 4th. Comes his first offering to Morgan. Runner taken off, and Assad will take second base.
Now that double play out of order, so this infield got to be firing home on a ground ball. We're not seeing infield in either. So they seem to be playing it safe.
Misses high to Morgan. Count now 1-1.
Yeah, Brady Johnson really got to just calm himself down here and not let these base runners get in his head.
Here he is with a 1-1. Just a half swing as that goes foul. He's got 4 strikeouts, has not issued a walk to this point. 3 hits. Comes the 1-2 to Morgan.
Oh, that
one's in play. Throw back to third. Oh, it came off. The bases are going to be loaded. Tough play at shortstop from Nate McDowell. He goes to third instead of trying to get Morgan at first, and now the bases will be loaded with 1 down as the lineup flips to Vaden McCartney.
Yeah, that's a really tough call to make there at short. And it's one where you got to commit to it immediately, and he did a good job. He gave him 1 look over at third, and he went for it. But that throw's got to be perfect if you want to try and get him there.
McCartney was a top prospect game attendee, the underclass group here a couple weeks ago at LakePoint Sports. Got him with exit velos around 88.5, bat speed around 70 miles an hour, Wheeler 2027. He can cash in here with the bases loaded in, 1 out.
You definitely don't want him to catch a hold of something here.
Johnson starts him off with ball 1. First stress pitches we have seen for Brody Johnson. He just absolutely cruised through those first 3 innings.
Yeah. First instinct now for the infielders is send it home. See what happens here on the fly ball. How deep is it?
Second baseman has it. Not deep enough for anybody to tag up and take off, so now 2 down.
That could be a huge at-bat right there for Brady Johnson.
Now Matt Garcia's turn.
And this is the moment. You had your chance on the other end as if you're BC Athletics in this moment and you couldn't get anything out of it. We'll see if Nelson Baseball School, who got out of it the last time, can keep things alive on the offensive side.
North Cobb's Matt Garcia now at the plate. Look at that exit velo.
Oh.
What did that hit off of? It says 17.8.
I've got no idea. I think maybe we read his helmet moving out of the way.
Potentially.
I don't know. Yeah, because when I saw 17, I was like, there's no way that came off the bat. So,
all right, well, the count's now 1-0 here to Garcia. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Miss makes it 2-0. Never be a better count for Matt Garcia than right now, 2-0. Bases loaded, 2 outs.
I think here you play the patient game.
Striking the outside makes it 2-1.
I don't mind looking at that one in this count and in this scenario.
Johnson with that high setup finds his grip. It's in play. Third base cannot get it down in time. run scores.
He's out
Oh,
at
they got him
first.
at
Wow.
first. Wow, what a play. It looked like he took too long to make that play at third, able to make the throw at first base and get out of it. Both teams have now left the bases loaded as we move along. Man, we are cruising, and this is featuring to be a good one so far. We'll be back with more from the Prep Baseball Classic.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
You are watching our coverage of the Prep Baseball Classic, our matchup between BC Athletics and Nelson Baseball School. This one has been an absolute pitching duel so far between Brody Johnson for BC Athletics and his counterpart Garrett Bentley from Nelson Baseball School. Both teams have left the bases loaded as we're moving along into the bottom of the fourth inning in this one, and it's been absolutely fantastic so far. Cory McCartney joined by Grayson Rosen, getting a combined 4 hits, and they've all been by one side so far.
Yeah, I got to bring it up, though. Not wearing the same jersey as your teammates up on the mound.
I did bring that up when Avery was in here. I said,
crazy.
Yeah, no blue sleeves for Garrett Bentley.
Well, he's ready to go, maybe before anybody else is.
He was like, it's time to work.
He's clocking in.
He sure is.
He's wasting no time. Misses on the first one, make it 1-0 to start the at-bat. But
he's got Keller Hatfield followed by Jace McKinney and Braden Maltzby. 1-0 count now to Hatfield. Make it 2-0.
BC Athletics got to start thinking about what your approach looks like here.
Little frustrating, I would assume, for them to have the game you've had pitched by Brody Johnson thus far and have your offense still searching for a breakthrough here against Bentley as we sit in the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, you know you can draw the walks, but it's more about what you do with them.
Okay, that time he barely even got set up. He draws the walk, but he barely even went through his little windup with the bat there before Bentley was ready to throw. This is one of those instances where
maybe you're moving too fast.
Well, but I also think, and I'm not trying to say this generation thing, but it seems as though younger batters now, everyone wants to take their time. Everyone wants to call timeout. Everyone wants to go through their little pregame maturation as we see McKinney call for time. Everyone's trying to do their little things to set up. Bentley's not having it.
No, not at all. But then you start to question if things are moving too quickly. Now one gets caught, and he's going to catch him there at first base, too, for the double play.
Doubles him up. Man, defense coming to play here. And that was a big play defensively in right field out of Cam Spicer to make the throw back to first and double him up. So quickly now 2 down for Bentley.
Yeah, no better way to bounce back from an opening walk, a 4-pitch walk at that, and then just almost immediately get that fly out in the double play on the tag.
5 walks, 5 strikeouts for Bentley. Is that one?
Lost it there.
Yeah, just a bit outside.
Yeah,
the legendary Bob Uecker would have said. Now we've got Braden Maltzby.
Just moving. I'm amazed. Shows a lot of body language up there on the mound.
Bentley has thrown 59 pitches. Again, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. And for a strike, makes it 2-1 now to Maltzby. Siegel High School 2027. I mean, you can't even. He was going to adjust his hat and reposition his hands. He didn't have time.
No.
I mean, the windup was started, and he very quickly had to go back down.
You pretty much have to be ready once you step in the box.
Another walk, make it 6 now for Bentley.
It's kind of crazy, but for most pitchers, giving up these kinds of walk numbers would feel concerning, but he's had no problem getting out of situations like this. So it just seems like he knows what he's doing even when these guys get on base.
This is now Andy Hudson for the second time. This is outside.
And a guy that moves like that, typically from the windup, when he gets to the stretch, you're a little bit more prone to balking, but he does take his time.
This is about the only way you can get Bentley to slow down is have him pitching out of the stretch. But then you wonder, does it take him out of his rhythm? And we saw him obviously get out of a bases-loaded jam, but at that point, he's switching back to the windup.
Mm-hmm. He still moves things a little bit at an accelerated pace when he's throwing from the stretch, but you can definitely see that he's not able to dictate the pacing quite as well when he's not pitching from the windup.
It's one pitch away from his 7th walk. See if he can get out of that. 2 down in the inning. Gets a strike in the outside, makes it 3-1.
Let's see if he can try and generate some contact here.
Oh, that's a strike. Count now full.
Yeah, it seemed like the catcher was set up pretty far outside, so he hit the spot. It's just the catcher kind of moved.
Comes a payoff pitch. Again, he's got a runner at first, 2 down here in the inning. Hudson swings through that. It was foul. Runner will retreat to first. The way our camera cut, it was hard to get a read on that, whether he completely swung through it.
Our umpire got a little shaken up right there. thought the ball was coming for him, but our catcher had him.
Payoff pitch part 2. Misses high, and Hudson draws a walk. Make that now 7 issued by Bentley.
It's certainly a number you don't want to see up there, but you still feel pretty confident. Right now with 2 outs, anything can happen. Somebody's going to be swinging at some point in these at-bats. So as long as you give him something to swing at, you'll make things happen here.
Now Lucas Blakeney. Runners at first and second, 2 down.
Time called.
69 pitches for Bentley. Misses high to start off Blakeney's AB.
Yeah, they're going to have a mound meeting. And I was thinking that right before they came out that maybe after those consecutive walks you go out there and talk, but early into the at-bat.
Considering you've got 2 down and we've seen him pitch like he has from the stretch, do you just tell him to abandon it? I mean, obviously you're going to allow the runners to take off, but you've been so effective from the windup, and you've gotten out of a bases-loaded jam.
Yeah.
At this point, you've got a 1-0 count. You've walked 2 guys. Those are the only base runners they have to this point in the game have been via the 7 walks that you've issued. If it doesn't work, and go to what
but
does.
I think there's the principle of the matter, which is don't let these guys both stand in scoring position at any point if you can help it.
Bentley with the 1-0, swings through that, count now even.
Yeah, you're going to need pitches like that. Even if you have to tick down the velo a little bit, just give him an offer.
He is without question a rhythm kid because you can see him putting his hand behind his back. He's got a 1-1 count now here to Blakeney. Misses inside.
Whoa, that was weird.
He almost looked like he tried to do it. His runner took off for third, so they'll have him at the corners, though, with 3-1 count now to Blakeney.
Yeah, it looked like the catcher was about to throw back to Bentley.
Just
and
lost his grip on it.
I think he just kind of hesitated for a moment and wanted to throw to third and just lost it. Let's see what he's got here on 3-1.
Misses outside. Bases will be loaded for the 2nd time for Nelson Baseball School. Bentley able to get out of this last time.
You're just looking for contact here. You got to give them something to swing at and hope that they'll put it in play and make something happen. The defense has done a great job in this game so far, and there's no reason not to trust them.
In steps Caden Edge.
He goes back to the windup and a first pitch strike.
Yeah, there's just not that same comfort level from the stretch for Bentley. He goes back to the windup and is just very quickly got himself an 0-2 hole here against Edge.
Let's see what happens here. Certainly.
Can he get out of this for the second time with the bases loaded?
Don't want to get caught in a bad spot at the plate. Good take there to make it 1-2.
Another miss.
2-2, I believe. I think our scoreboard is off a strike.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Count is 2-2 here to Edge. He rips that down the left side, and that goes foul. Maybe the hardest hit ball we've seen against Bentley today. He has been backed by some great defensive work, including Elijah Assad making a fantastic inning-ending grab at second base.
Another foul ball.
Now 79 pitches for Bentley.
Certainly hitting the zone much better now, but trying to just put it away here. 2-2, 2 outs, and the bases loaded.
Comes a 2-2. Swings through it, and he gets out of a second bases loaded jam. Man, absolutely stunning stuff here from Garrett Bentley as he has chased 8 walks issued to BC Athletics. They remain scoreless. We are back more shortly. You're watching the Prep Baseball Classic from LakePoint Sports.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Welcome back. We will see Nolan Crutchley, Cash Dunn, and Cam Spicer here from Nelson Baseball School in the 5th inning. We are still scoreless. Cory McCartney and Grayson Rosen with you. Combined 4 hits in this one so far, and they have all been by Nelson Baseball School. Brody Johnson back on the mound. He's thrown just 41 pitches thus far for BC Athletics. 9 in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. See what he has in store here for the 5th inning. Again, Nolan Crutchley starting off the inning. Crutchley swings through that for strike 1. Harrison 27.
It's been a little bit of an extended break for Brody Johnson, but see if he can keep things rolling. He's looked pretty solid out there. I mean, both pitchers have, of course. It's 0-0 in the top of the 5th, but I've really liked what I've seen so far from Brady.
Been a well-pitched game on both sides. Certainly a lot more dramatics from Bentley, but he has managed to get himself out of a lot of trouble. BC Athletics had the bases loaded in both the 2nd and 4th innings. Nothing to show for it as we remain scoreless. That one is popped up. Center fielder has it for the first out.
Just like that, the quick work continues.
Yeah, I think the only question to this point is the pitch count going to be too high for Bentley, who is 80 pitches through 4 innings, to stay out there? It's certainly not the case with Johnson, who is this next pitch will be number 46 for him in the 5th inning.
4.1. That's impressive.
There's Cash Dunn.
Ooh. He did not know if he wanted to bunt or
well,
or not.
He fouled it off regardless. The count will be 0-1.
Looks like maybe our piece of our umpire's mask fell off there.
Okay. What would the first single on Cash Dunn's debut album be?
Ooh.
Something baseball related.
Yeah, it has to be. I don't know.
You left a hole in my heart and my glove.
That would work.
Yeah, that's
I
a good
think
one.
last song on the album has to be Walk Off, right?
Yeah, absolutely. BB the BB, Walk the Walk. That would be a good one, too.
That would be good.
Yeah. We could come up with an entire set list here for Cash Done before
Would the
AB's
S
over
be a
with.
$sign?
Oh, it absolutely has to be. Dunn fouls that off.
That was weird. He fouled the ball off the opposite direction, and we had a foul ball.
Yeah. It's an optical illusion.
Yeah. Yeah. He hit it into the portal that's up there.
That's right. Comes the 0-2 to Dunn. Ooh, that one is in play. His shortstop has it. Long throw, and he's able to make that throw, and now 2 down.
Yeah, good work just setting your feet and making that throw. A lot of shortstops try and make that off balance and cause some issues for themselves, but that was well played right there.
I've been impressed by Nate McDowell.
He's
made a couple
really
good catches. The only thing that hasn't worked out in his favor so far is that throw over to third base, but that was a tough play regardless that had the bases loaded for Nelson, but they were, of course, able to get out of that. Now Cam Spicer.
Oh, he put a ride on that one.
He sure did. Has him on the run. That one's going to be down for a hit. Spicer making his way to second base. Is he going to hold there? Cam Spicer can fly. He is on his way to the third. Is he going to hold there? He has himself a 2-out triple. Cam Spicer, the Harrison 2027 coming through with our biggest offensive moment of the game.
Yeah, that is absolutely massive. And with that kind of speed, you also got to think about trying to steal home on a wild pitch. I mean, there's certainly a run-scoring threat now on third base with Spicer.
Saw Johnson get out of trouble in the 4th inning. What does he have in store now with a runner at third? Is Carson Chow is now up?
He hasn't had any issues to this point, even though he's given up 5 hits now. So we'll see what he does in this moment. Just got to make sure that ball gets in his catcher's mitt.
2 surprising zeros on the pitching line so far. Johnson has not issued a walk. And, of course, Bentley has not issued a hit, as we said here in the 5th.
That's the first time we've said it. I'm just putting it out there.
But I only say that because Bentley has issued 8 walks.
Yeah.
And we've seen 5 hits given up by Johnson, and yet we remain scoreless.
Yeah, each team's had their fair share of base runners, but they've all done a pretty good job of spreading it out across the innings.
That was vicious from Johnson there. Count now 1-2. He's already got 4 strikeouts. Got a runner at third. And Spicer, who hit that 2-run triple, a 2-out triple, excuse me.
Just wants to put an end to things here. And that he does.
He does. Johnson gets strikeout number 5. We are still scoreless in this pitching duel. We'll be back with more from the Prep Baseball Classic.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Garrett Bentley is doing a thing we don't speak of as we're into the 5th inning of a scoreless game between BC Athletics and Nelson Baseball School. He's at 80 pitches through 4 innings. He left the bases loaded after walking the bases loaded in the 2nd inning, left the bases loaded in the 4th inning as well. He has, to this point, allowed 8 walks, and those have been the only base runners for BC Athletics as we sit here in the 5th inning.
And he's averaging 20 pitches per inning, so he's going to have to bring that down because otherwise he's on pace for 100 when he gets out of this one.
Nate McDowell has that down, and that is the first base hit for BC Athletics here in the 5th inning. They finally have their breakthrough moment against Garrett Bentley.
I don't want to throw any blame at anybody.
Is this
but
my fault?
Yes, it is your fault. In the
Okay.
last inning, you said he'd given up no hits.
I
mean,
said there was a 0 in the hits category.
that is the same thing.
I didn't say, hey, this guy's throwing a no-hitter. I said he has 0 hits. And he's now back to the stretch, and this has been, I mean, outside of the walks, which he's been able to work his way around, this is the only kryptonite that we've seen for Garrett Bentley is pitching from the stretch, and he's now got a 1-0 count now to Brennan Skurlock, the leadoff hitter.
Well, no more things to hide from here on out.
That one goes foul.
And you can't really be that upset with giving up that hit. I mean, it was just in a spot that there was no chance anything else was happening. It's not even like they got a good look on you or anything or really pieced one up. It just fell out there in no man's land. He's going to go.
McDowell takes off for second.
Good
The throw is in plenty of time, but it goes a little wide. So McDowell takes second. So runner in scoring position now for BC Athletics. 2-1 count here to Skurlock. Make that 3-1.
Yeah, for Bentley, we haven't seen too much action on the base paths with no outs so far in this game, and that's going to be a real issue now. And you're pitching from the stretch for this long, and how we've seen he's struggled a little bit with the control from there. It's certainly something to watch.
Assad has it, throws to first for the out, but runner does advance to third. So McDowell 90 feet closer to home in that first run of this game.
I think one thing that Bentley can be happy about is that he hasn't sent too many balls to the backstop so far in this outing. So keep hitting the mitt and you'll stay safe for the time being.
Jake Schumacher from Stewart's Creek, Tennessee now steps in.
We're seeing infield in from Nelson Baseball, so they're definitely firing home if they get the chance.
Another miss from Bentley. He's not been able to get ahead in counts here. Make that 2-0.
Yeah, in this scenario, Bentley would prefer he gets this out via the strikeout because you just don't want to put anything up to chance.
There's a strike. Next pitch will be number 90. This tournament, not as long as some of the others that we have this time of year. This one started on Friday. Will be wrapped up on Monday. The throw back over to third. It gets away from him. Headed home. They got him in a rundown. See if our camera adjusts here. We may just have to cross our fingers and see what happens. And there's
Looks
the
like
out.
They got the out.
They did get the out. Now our camera decides to switch over.
Well, that is absolutely huge to get that runner off third base and put this to 2 out. So once again, Bentley and his side just bailing themselves out here. Now this time just in the 5th inning instead of every other inning where they've made decisive outs, especially defensively.
And now he's back to the windup. Just misses, though. Now 3-1 count here to Schumacher. Brady Rowe in the on-deck circle. That's a strike. Counts full.
See if we can get a little bit more magic out of Bentley here.
He's given up just 1 hit here as we set in the bottom of the 5th inning in this scoreless ball game. That one is skied. Who has it? Center fielder makes a great grab on the run. Man, some good defensive work there. Braden Maltzby makes the inning-ending catch, and we are still scoreless. We're through 5 in our game of the day from the Prep Baseball Classic.
We're here at LakePoint Sports, the site of the first Curve Test Center. There will be lots of Curve Test Centers, but this will always be the first. And why are we here? Here for a couple of reasons. One is if you think about the effort players are spending trying to get coaches to notice them, the effort coaches are spending trying to figure out who's actually any good, the poor parents who are sitting there saying, where's my kid headed? This is the answer for all that.
Everyone wants to be seen, right? Sometimes what can be seen is data. So it's hard to get in front of coaches at all these programs at once, or even the school you really want to go to. So using data helps us a ton. And as long as it's reliable and there's something that can give us better information with the small sample size is what we're looking for.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Garrett Bentley is not the only one working fast through this one. These in-between innings are
Yeah.
cruising by as we're unable to fit in our entire commercial breaks. But we're going to see Brody Johnson once again on the mound. He's thrown 55 pitches now for BC Athletics. We are scoreless here in the 6th inning of our game of the day from the Prep Baseball Classic. Cory, McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you. It's been extremely well pitched. Keep saying that because that has absolutely been the story of this one between Garrett Bentley and Brody Johnson. Just wondering at this point, are we going to see more Garrett Bentley as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning? He's thrown 92 pitches through 5 innings.
Yeah, Johnson on the other end, pitching as efficient of a day as you could find through his 5 innings of work, and we'll see if he can continue that here. There's a grounder.
His third baseman has it, and that will be out number 1.
Just keeps working quick. That was a 3-pitch at bat there to start things off, and that's exactly what you want to see every time out if you're a starting pitcher.
3 times we've seen BC Athletics have runners in scoring position. They left the bases loaded in the 2nd, the bases loaded in the 4th. We just saw runner at 3rd in Nate McDowell in the 5th inning, and they were unable to capitalize on that one. Meanwhile, Nelson Baseball School also had their opportunities.
Yeah, they've really had no problem seeing Johnson. It's just making things happen after those hits come.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Elijah Assad, Cam Spicer at 3rd with a two-out triple in the 5th, but he gets a strikeout to bring it into that inning and leave Spicer stranded.
Yeah, Brady Johnson just doing the work when he needs to do it, and see if he can get something here. If got strike 2 now. See if he's got something to conjure up for that 6th strikeout.
Johnson has allowed 5 hits and 5 strikeouts. His counterpart Bentley has allowed 1 hit, 8 walks, though, with 6 strikeouts. Johnson has yet to walk a batter. Count now 3-1. Make that 2-2, excuse me. I think Blue heard me.
Yeah.
Put up the 2-2.
Well, fouled off.
So we'll again see another 2-2.
This might be the most pitches Johnson's thrown in any at bat.
Yeah. Next pitch will be 63.
Number 6 for this at bat.
Oh, it's not going to be full. Again, he's not issued a walk.
You get late into a game like this, it starts to feel a little bit less and less avoidable.
That is in play. McDowell has it, throws, pulls the first baseman off, but he's able to come down and tap the bag for the 2nd out.
He threw that one hard across the diamond. He's got a great arm over there at shortstop. We've seen it on display quite a few times now.
Back to the top of the order now with Kaj Walker-Smith. He's 1 for 2. Goes through his machinations here, his point towards the pitcher. I like this.
Yeah, I like it a lot. And I think for every young baseball player, they've got somebody in mind when they're working on that swing. Got a
He
good
jumps
piece of
on that first one, 80 miles an hour, but it goes foul.
Maybe that's a question we should be asking some of these guys out there is, who is it that inspired your stance or your swing, or
Yeah.
your pre-game, your pre-bat routine? You see him everywhere.
Yeah, whether it be a setup, whether it be
the
a
two-handed bat hold there
Yeah.
was an interesting aspect of that.
It almost feels like samurai-esque.
Yeah.
As though he has a
Yeah.
sword, and he's taking that sword and
He's unsheathing it.
Yes.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, because he goes from holding it down with both hands to
Yeah.
then pointing it towards the pitcher.
It's a warning.
That's right.
Oof.
Well, he's got a 1-2 count now against Johnson.
Yeah, he may have a sword, but Johnson's been cutting it up all
yeah,
day. So.
Maybe as much as we've seen that the sword enter the lexicon of pitching in the last few years, maybe you don't want to approach the AB with
That's a good
your own
point.
sword.
Yeah, being a hitter and hearing sword is not always a good thing.
But Walker Smith, maybe wielding Excalibur up there. We'll see. He's got a 1-2 count. See if he can get that breakthrough against Johnson. Still sitting scoreless. Misses on the inside.
Now I'm seeing 2 full counts in this inning for Johnson, which is certainly unfamiliar territory for him. But last time he got out of it with a ground ball to short, and we'll see what he's got here on 2.
Elijah Assad in the on-deck circle should Walker Smith get on. That one goes foul.
Is it? I thought it was 3-2.
I believe it is 3-2.
Let's see. Maybe our umpire's going to give us the signal.
You like the umpire pump fake?
Yeah, that was good. Got to keep them on your toe on their toes.
Yeah, I think the cornerback bit on that one.
Let's see, we're going to get the. Nope, no signal.
All right.
Maybe it is 2-2. We'll find out. Or we won't.
Doesn't matter. Walker Smith goes down on strikes, and Brody Johnson has his 6th strikeout of this one. We remain scoreless in the Prep Baseball Classic. We'll be back soon from LakePoint Sports Baseball Village.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
One half of our pitching duel has been put to rest. Garrett Bentley is out of this one. 92 pitches through 5 innings. Did not give up his first hit until the 5th inning by Nate McDowell, who ended up getting caught in a rundown between third and home. So able to get out of that. He leaves the bases loaded twice, but one hit in a really strongly pitched game for Garrett Bentley, and he's out. And Nolan Crutchley, Harrison 2027, steps in for Nelson Baseball School, and he's got a tough act to follow as Bentley just continuously worked his way out of trouble.
Yeah, it was great work by Bentley, but I think the other part of it is that Crutchley has the advantage of having this defense behind him still. I think that's a huge part of it. Sure, Bentley did have a great day up there on the mound. It worked out of a lot of tough spots, but as long as he knows that he can trust the defense, he'll be just fine.
Go from a lefty to a righty. Crutchley's got a fastball around 76, also changeup 65 to 66, whereas a curveball around 60 to 63. This is his 15th prep baseball event, and he'll be facing Brady Rowe, Keller Hatfield, and Jace McKinney for BC Athletics here in the 6th. First pitch, shortstop has it, throws in time for the out.
That is an ideal way to get things started if you just want to make some quick work here for Crutchley.
One pitch, one out. As Rowe goes down on the ground out, and here is Keller Hatfield, Coffee County, Tennessee. It's his 2nd trip to LakePoint Sports. Crutchley misses inside. If you're a Harrison pitcher, you had a lot of fun the last couple of years throwing to Dominic Stevenson on his way to Georgia Tech, former prep baseball All-American.
Not sure if all these guys have been lucky enough with the age gap.
That is true.
I'm sure they would have loved to, at least in practice. I'm sure they got their chances.
Yeah, really special catcher here in the state of Georgia. And we've honestly been blessed, the catching department. Think of Harry Ford. I mean, there's just been some really great catchers come out of this state the last few years.
You could just stick it to Cobb County.
Exactly, yeah.
With those two.
Counts now 2-1. Yeah, and when I talked to Stevenson about the lure of Georgia Tech, he said, look at the catchers that they've produced.
Yeah.
You know, guys like Matt Wieters and Barton and just, you know, on and on and on. It's a huge draw to enter that program and for what they've done at the catching position.
I'm blanking on who their catcher is right now.
Jason Veritek
yeah,
as well.
Jason
Yeah,
Veritek, certainly. But right now, somebody from the area catching. Man, what is his name? I don't know why I can't think of it.
Well, you're going to make me pull up their roster here as we Google in real time.
I'll look at the game. You got this.
Okay.
Well, that one's put in play over to second base, playing out of position.
Elijah Assad,
speed.
with the shovel pass.
That was awesome.
He is a fantastic defensive player.
Vaughn Lackey.
Okay.
That's who their catcher is.
Yeah, they just have a long history at the catching position at Tech, and we'll see if Harrison's Dominic Stevenson ends up being the next one or if the MLB draft changes those plans. Really been impressed defensively in this game with Nelson Baseball School's Elijah Assad and then Nate McDowell for BC Athletics. These have been two really great defensive middle infielders.
Yeah, maybe we need to pair those two up together.
Yeah.
See what that connection looks like.
There is 2 down for Braden Maltsby. He now has a 1-0 count. Nolan Crutchley has taken over pitching duties.
Let's see. Who's going to cover first?
Elijah Assad makes
Crutchley.
the throw over to Crutchley, and that brings an end to the inning. We are still scoreless as we enter the 7th inning. When have we ever said that before?
I don't think
scoreless
we ever have.
going into the 7th. I would assume 70 pitches through 6. We're about to see Brody Johnson take the mound once again. We'll be back to find out from LakePoint Sports. Welcome back. Cory McCartney, Grayson Rosen with you, and there is that man, Brody Johnson, out for his 7th inning of work. Man, he has thrown just 70 pitches through 6, has 6 strikeouts. He's just been absolutely fantastic to this point, has not issued a walk in this ball game, which I think has been the most impressive part of this. Obviously, the pitch count as well. He's been extremely efficient, and he has really put a test on this Nelson Baseball School lineup. And while they have so far come through with 5 hits, they have not found a way to cash in against him. And we've seen, again, great defensive work on both sides, but cannot say enough about what we've seen on the mound in this ball game.
Yeah, we've been blessed with pitching, certainly, in this game, and Johnson's going to try and continue it, trying to get himself the complete game, whether he gets the win or not.
We need to see who we're going to start off, and we are going to have Elijah Assad is going to lead things off for Nelson Baseball School, followed by Aiden Morgan and Vaden McCarty. Count me a big fan of Elijah Assad. That's one of the best defensive second basemen I've seen at this level in a long time.
Yeah, he moves around so effortlessly, and we saw just like the shuffle pass and everything else we're seeing from. He just moves around great over there at second base, and see if he can get things rolling for the offense here.
There's just a lot of creativity from the defensive side from him.
Who's your favorite middle infield duo that you've gotten to see?
All time?
Yeah, ever.
I was a big fan of the 80s from Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker. That one's down.
Like that.
Cannot make the play. Gets away from Johnson.
Yeah.
Assad's going to be aboard. 35.9 off his bat, and he is aboard. And that speed caused some trouble. Maybe they had to rush things a little bit, but that was a tough play for Johnson, and he's now given up an infield hit to start things off to Assad.
Yeah, that was a really difficult spot for him, and with the way it bounced, he kind of had to go for the barehanded grab and just couldn't get a hold of it. So Elijah Assad going to start off on base, and we know he's got some wheels, so that's going to be one thing to look out for.
So with Assad aboard, here's Aiden Morgan.
My favorite infield duo is one that wasn't too. Oh, whoa.
Well,
desperation
got himself
swing.
a desperation sword on that. Count will be 0-1. Are we saying he wasn't ready? They're calling interference.
Wow.
So Aiden Morgan is out off the interference off that defensive swing, and now there's one down. The runner will retreat to first base.
Yeah, so for anybody wondering out there what happened there, because of the way that he kind of swung to stay in the way of the catcher and then didn't move out of the catcher's way on the inside pitch, they're calling that one a batter interference on the throwdown. That's a huge, huge moment right there. BC Athletics certainly getting helped out with that one.
Well, now it's Vaden McCartney after the oddity of that moment. And just a tough swing. I think that's one of those moments where it's a hit and run. Maybe it's a pitch that you wouldn't have swung at, but you think, I got to put a swing on this because I'm supposed to put a swing on this to get my runner to second. And unfortunately, he did so in such a defensive manner that it ends up being batter interference.
Yeah. You can't do that. That's for sure. Before something crazy happens, my favorite is one that you didn't see, and it was Brandon Phillips and Dansby Swanson for that very short time.
I saw plenty of those guys together.
I'm sure you did. But for the most part, most people probably weren't watching that team.
Yeah.
But I love Brandon Phillips.
Brandon Phillips would say it was a blessing in disguise for things that were not a blessing in disguise.
Nice.
So he would say,
that's great.
He would say that him being an Atlanta guy and being back in Atlanta, that one is into left field. Vaden McCartney's got himself a base hit. Be runners now at first and second with one down. Yeah, he would say him, being an Atlanta guy and being here in Atlanta is a blessing in disguise.
No, that's just a blessing. Why that's out in the open.
Yeah. So.
That's very funny. Very funny. Got a good piece on that one right there. 93-4. Just got to the outfield so fast you had no chance of an extra advance.
You know where I've seen Brandon Phillips in person in the last couple of years?
I've got no idea.
Wrestling events.
Okay.
So his wife, either fiance or wife, her name's Jade Cargill, and she was an AEW wrestler. Now she's on WWE, and they've been together for a long time.
Wow.
He would be in the crowd at events. I've
awesome.
seen him. Yeah, saw him here in Atlanta twice at events. So she's an absolute monster, and that's now Brandon Phillips' better half. Runners both taken off.
And he's going to balk. Yeah, he balks, so they get a free pass.
All right, so two runners in scoring position now for Nelson Baseball School with Matt Garcia at the plate. Go out here and everyone's getting waved off here as they're going out to calm Brody Johnson down. He has been up to every moment that BC Athletics could ask for to this point. See if he can get himself out of trouble here and try to give his offense an opportunity to try to walk this off in the bottom of the seventh. Would be absolutely stunning if we could get through an entire pool play game, 7 innings, scoreless. But we'll see if
sure neither side wants that to be the case.
We'll see if Nelson can break through here. They have managed to get through in the hit department against Johnson. He's allowed 7 hits, but 0 walks to go with his 6 strikeouts. But now runners at second and third.
We've seen some great defense being played by both teams here, but this is certainly an important spot, especially when you think about just not having any hesitation in your decisions. If that ball comes to you, you look at third base. If he goes, you go home. If he doesn't, you go first and hope that he doesn't try and steal home as well.
North Cobb's Matt Garcia with a chance to cash in here against Johnson. First pitch, he sends that one down the right side. That's going to go foul, and I nearly hit our brand new studio, which you can see.
We're going to start off with a dent there on top.
We're going to get a net on top of it, but you see that structure down the first base side. That will be our new and improved studio that we'll move into later this summer. We are ecstatic about what that's going to provide us opportunity-wise and heating and cooling-wise.
A lot more capabilities certainly coming with that new studio, so things that will improve these broadcasts as well, so stay tuned.
0-1, Garcia sends that into center field. That's going to drop down for a hit. Second baseman cannot make a play. And just like that, Nelson Baseball School has the lead off the bat of Garcia. Throw gets away from the catcher. Matt Garcia has them on the board. They finally had their breakthrough and a lead here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely huge. And shout out to this Nelson Baseball School lineup that's just slowly eating away. They knew that they could see Brady Johnson really well. Sorry, is it Brody? Brody Johnson. Very well in this game. They've been seeing him well the whole time. And it's just about putting bat on ball. And you're going to get your opportunities when you're in a position like that. So good work by Nelson Baseball School to just keep chipping away and finally get themselves on the board here in the top of the 7th.
Now it's Nolan Crutchley.
Calling the balk? Because he didn't step off to make the attempt, so that's going to bring in another run there from third.
All right, so a second run and a second balk for Brody Johnson here in this one.
Yeah, you can't fake the attempt without stepping off to switch to the other side.
Well, a balk obviously progressed the runners along to get that first run off the bat of Matt Garcia. Now a second balk has Garcia in scoring position and has scored another run. It's now 2-0 Nelson here in the top of the 7th. Demoralizing stuff there for Brody Johnson, who has been just lights out to this point.
Yeah, a really difficult way to see the culmination of your pitching performance in this game.
So Matt Garcia standing at second had the first RBI of this game. And we saw Johnson balk in the next run. 1-1 to Crutchley. Sends that foul. Count now 1-2.
For Johnson, now it's just a little bit of damage control. Don't let things get out of hand and hope to go into the bottom of the 7th with your lineup and try and tie things up or take the win.
And BC Athletics will get their chance, the bottom of this 7th, to try to either equal this or walk it off. That one is in play. McDowell has it. He throws to first in time for the second out, but Garcia now stands at third. So with Crutchley down, we'll now get another look here at Cash Dunn with 2 out in the inning. Dunn is 0 for 2. Ooh, misses inside.
Out swung on pretty well.
Yeah, Dunn, 83.6 off his bat. Left fielder camps underneath it, and he has it, and that will bring an end to the inning. But Nelson Baseball School has taken a 2-0 lead. 1 run off the bat of Matt Garcia, another via a balk. We'll see if BC Athletics can respond. We're headed to the bottom of the 7th from the Prep Baseball Classic.
Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
We are down to the bottom of the 7th inning in our game of the day from the Prep Baseball Classic. Nolan Crutchley returns on the mound for Nelson Baseball School. He is now backed by a 2-0 advantage as this is our last inning here of this pool play matchup. Cory McCartney and Grayson Rosen with you, and we'll see can BC Athletics respond. We saw Brody Johnson absolutely cruising, still did not issue a walk in this entire game as he's able to pitch the complete game. But Matt Garcia came through with the RBI single to score Elijah Assad, and then another run via a balk, and it's got BC Athletics in a hole now as they're going to send Hudson to the mound. To Andy Hudson at the plate. He'll be followed by Lucas Blakeney and Caden Edge. Down to their last hopes here. Can they get out with a tie? Can they walk this off? 0-1 count now to Hudson. That is in play. Elijah Assad has it. He throws to first in time for the out as Hudson slides through the bag.
Yeah, Assad is just playing as sound of defense as you can find there at second base. He had the diving play. He had the shuffle pass. He had now that play right there. I mean, he's covering some ground. He's flashing some leather. Let's see if Crutchley can keep things rolling and get them out of this. A foul ball to open it up, make it 0-1.
Blakeney at the plate now is 0 for 1. Getting his first look at Crutchley after Garrett Bentley went so deep in this game. It's in for a strike. He went 5 innings, 92 pitches, allowed just 1 hit.
See if Crutchley's got some strikeout stuff. We haven't really seen the opportunity just yet.
Still just 1 hit for BC Athletics in this one. Meanwhile, Nelson has compiled 8 hits. Ooh, misses inside. Count is now even here to Blakeney. Make it full.
Feels like he got to 0-2 and kind of strayed away from what's been most successful for him. Let's see what he comes back with here. He's going to miss for the walk.
So Blakeney's going to be aboard with 1 out. By the way, so calm weather-wise today. Where was this at during MPI? Because it was sweltering through every day of MPI.
Even the clouds have pretty well gone away.
It is just a gorgeous day here in Emerson, Georgia.
I feel like the Toy Story sky right now.
Yeah.
If anybody knows that.
It's like Andy's room.
Yeah.
Well, if you're able to come up here for some baseball action this weekend, we also got the GHSA team camp, the girls edition, going on over at the Champions Center. That is only through today because tomorrow being Father's Day and GHSA does not allow events on Sundays. So that's only going through today. We've also got Dig It, the rally event over at the Beach Pavilion, Summer Lax Splash going on at the Publix Field. So we seemingly say this every weekend, but parking is tough to come by. So if you got a spot here, make sure you hold that thing down or try to make some money on as you pull out of the spot. May have to do that today. Would you like this? Would you like this spot?
I believe that is against the rules.
Is
so
it?
Do not do that.
Okay. Counts
as long
now
as you're not wearing LakePoint stuff.
That's
I think
right.
It might be good.
Yeah.
We charge for parking now, so go ahead and you can pay me directly.
Yeah, I charge for parking now.
That's right.
It.
All right, Caden Edge, the number 10 hitter in the order for BC Athletics. He has 1 down. Puts that in play. Shortstop has it on the run. Can he make the throw in time? Fantastic play. The throw back to third. Is the runner there? He's going to be safe.
Okay. It's a really tough call there for the umpires to try and make both those calls, but calls him out at first, and he's safe at third. And they're going to talk about it real quick because the home plate umpire might have had a better view for it.
Yeah, tough read on the field umpire to make that play at first base and then turn around off the throw, and he's going to be safe.
Yep.
So a runner at third as shortstop Nate McDowell, the last hitter in the order for BC Athletics, steps in. Should he get on, it's back to Brendan Sherlock, the leadoff hitter. Can Sherlock get aboard? See if he gets a chance as McDowell swings through that to make it 0-1. McDowell is 1 for 2. He's played some great defensive shortstop himself. Swings through it now down to his last strike.
Let's see what Crutchley's got here.
Crutchley has 0 strikeouts so far in his 1 2/3 of an inning. Does he change that here and bring an end to this game?
Almost.
Holds off.
Nate McDowell able to hold it back there, make it 1-2. See what Crutchley has now with 1-2, 2 outs.
He puts that one in play. Center fielder has it on the run, and it brings an end to that one. Nelson Baseball School wins a dramatic pitching duel 2-0. Just a fantastic pitching performance on both sides. Offense was a commodity in this one. Nelson Baseball School able to come through with a 2-0 victory. When we get back, we'll talk moment that matters, player of the game, and more when we return from LakePoint Sports.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Hot summer days call for cool adventures in Cartersville, Museum City. Beat the heat indoors with jaw-dropping exhibits at TELUS Science Museum and the Savoy Automobile Museum. Hit the water at Terminus Wake Park, kayak the Etowah River, or head to Lake Allatoona for fishing, boating, and unbeatable lake days. When the sun sets, head downtown for live music, delicious eats, and local flavors. From family fun to date nights, summer memories start here. Plan your trip today at cartersvillemuseumcity.com.
We're here at LakePoint Sports, the site of the first curve test center. There will be lots of curve test centers, but this will always be the first. And why are we here? Here for a couple of reasons. One is if you think about the effort players are spending trying to get coaches to notice them, the effort coaches are spending trying to figure out who's actually any good, the poor parents who are sitting there saying, where's my kid headed? This is the answer for all that.
Everyone wants to be seen, right? Sometimes what can be seen is data. So it's hard to get in front of coaches at all these programs at once, or even the school you really want to go to. So using data helps us a ton. And as long as it's reliable and there's something that can give us better information with the small sample size is what we're looking for.
Two, one.
Welcome back to LakePoint Sports. Cory, McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you, where we just wrapped up a 2-0 win for Nelson Baseball School over BC Athletics in our game of the day from the Prep Baseball Classic. And Grayson, Pitching defined without question,
Oh,
as
yeah.
we saw Brody Johnson from BC Athletics and Garrett Bentley from Nelson Baseball School, also Nolan Crutchley, by the way, from Nelson Baseball School coming in relief. They defined this game.
Oh, for sure. That was as hard fought of a victory as you'll get any time out here in the summer. I mean, we go into the 7th inning scoreless. That doesn't happen. You saw how quickly this game ended. If you were watching along, it's only 12-12 right now. So we were flying through, and we saw some great pitching in different aspects from both pitchers. But what it came down to is that Nelson Baseball, they just stepped up when it mattered. And when it happened to matter was the top of the 7th.
Nelson Baseball School allowed combined 1 hit. Garrett Bentley got himself out of multiple bases-loaded jams. Those 92 pitches through 5 innings. Nolan Crutchley comes in, 2 innings of relief, did not allow another hit himself. And then on the flip side, Brody Johnson was fantastic and just efficient in every aspect of the game. He did not walk a single batter, had 6 strikeouts. BC Athletics, 1 hit, does not get on the board on this one, but I was really impressed with him as well.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job. Just working efficiently was the biggest thing. I mean, he was through like 5 innings with 50 pitches or something in that range, and it was just unbelievable to see how efficiently he worked. And things got a little shaky in some innings, but he still got out of it. And then you get to the 7th inning, and some things just kind of didn't go his way was how it went.
Well, on to that 7th inning in our Moment That Matters presented by Aspen Hospitality Group, and that was via the bat of Matt Garcia, 51.1 miles an hour off his bat, and that's all that mattered. Delivers the first run of the game as Elijah Assad crosses the plate. They would get a second run via a balk, 2 balks in total in that inning, but Matt Garcia, the North Cobb 2027, came through when it mattered most for Nelson Baseball School.
Yeah, just barely dropped that one in there into no man's land and made things happen. And you got to give some credit to his guys that got on base before him and made that happen. But great work by Matt Garcia just stepping up in that moment.
What a weird 7th inning for Nelson Baseball School, because Assad gets on via an infield hit to start that inning. He ends up coming around. There's a balk that ends up getting him to third base, and then he scores the game's first run. Then we see Johnson commit another balk that ends up for that second run. But just a very wild game and extremely well pitched from both sides. As we turn our attention to our IHG player of the game, and I've already mentioned Elijah Assad. I was blown away defensively by the second baseman. 2 fantastic plays that he made. There was a diving catch. There was the shovel pass. Just the creativity from him defensively. And then, by the way, he ends up going 2 for 3 and scores the game's first run.
Yeah, exactly. It was just every moment we were looking at him. Every single time something happened on the field, the eyes went straight to Elijah Assad. He made the great defensive plays, like you said, and the 2 hits in this game, and that one to start off the 7th inning and then eventually come around to score that first run that was the deciding factor. I thought Elijah Assad was outstanding in this game.
Yeah, you could not take your eyes off the McKeesher in 2027. You'll be able to find our interview with him on all of our social channels, so make sure you check that out. Now, it's about to be ring season here at LakePoint Sports. We'll get it started with the 15U National Championship, and we'll be back next Saturday on an as-yet-to-be-determined game, so make sure you are following us on all of our social channels for broadcast information. Like all of our broadcasts, you'll be able to find that for free on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Until then, for Grayson, Rosen, Avery Hunt, and producers Mason Monroe and Maddie Bullock, I'm Cory McCartney, and for now, we're signing off from LakePoint Sports.